Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of my Create This Book series by me and Moriah Elizabeth. Today I'm going to be doing 4 more prompts. Before I begin, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's see what we can do. The first prompt of the day is to create simplistic drawings. So I'm supposed to draw stick figures. So I grabbed a pencil because I thought, what else is a more simple art supplies than just a regular old mechanical pencil? And then I just started drawing my stick figures. At first I started out with just a regular old stick figure, and then I tried to make them do little poses. Like for this one, I tried to make him look like he was running, so I even added this little stress little symbol on his head. And then for this one, I went back to a more simplistic version and just did a little triangle shaped girl for this one. And this was a really fun prompt, kind of silly and definitely simple, but I had a lot of fun just drawing out a couple of stick figures. Then for the next prompt, it was time to do a create a family prompt. So I'm supposed to draw, attach, or assemble an image of a family. So I decided to do my family. So I started off by grabbing a separate sheet of paper and some Ohuhu markers. Now it's time to map out my design. I wanted it to look like it was taken on like a Polaroid, like a Polaroid picture, so that's what I decided to do. I started by drawing out heads for me and my husband, and in real life he's like 9 inches taller than me, but in this picture he's more like, only a couple inches height difference, but that's just because it would have been silly if I cut his head off in this aesthetic photo that I'm trying to make. So then I went ahead and started inserting my cats. They're part of our family, and we have 2 cats, Cheerio and Frosty. I put Frosty on his shoulder and then Cheerio in my arms, and then I moved on to adding in the details for our little faces. I decided to keep this super simplistic and in my style a little bit more, so I just added little features that reminded me of us, like a little pocket tee for him, and then for me I did some wavy hair, and then that was about as close as the resemblance is going to get besides colors. But then after that, after I'd sketched everything out and kind of finalized my design a little bit more, it was time to outline the entire drawing. So far I was really liking how the drawing was turning out. I thought it was super cute and fun, and I really liked that you could see a little bit of us through the drawing just in simple little ways, and I think the color is going to add a lot more detail to the entire thing, so I'm super excited about it. So I couldn't wait to get done outlining, and once I finally did, it was time to start the coloring process. So for the colors, I decided to also go a little more basic and just kind of stick with simple colors and features like my hair is blonde and his hair is brown, those kind of things. So I went ahead and went in with skin colors first, and I'm much paler than him, so I tried to use a different skin tone colors, but I don't know that it worked out all that well, so then I tried to blend them a little more together and added a little more of each skin tone to each other's. That way they were a little more balanced. And then I went ahead and started on the hair. I did his brown and then added some shading to mine and then made it blondish. And then I went ahead and colored in his shirt green. I just feel like he wears a lot of green. And then I colored in mine red to complement his green shirt. And then it was finally time to color in that cute little heart at the top of the drawing, and now it's time to color in the cats. So they are orange. They're not Cheeto orange like this, but I felt like this was a good representation of how they look. Added in a couple of highlights and decided to make the background a light faded blue, and then this one was complete after I decided to add in a couple more just little touches to the drawing. I added in the little family word at the bottom, and then I also added little dots around the side just to kind of frame the Polaroid picture a little bit more. And then this drawing was complete with the cats, Cheerio, Frosty, Ben, my husband, and me. And I really like how this photo turned out. I think it's so cute, and I loved this prompt, and it was really fun to just kind of draw a little visual representation of my family. Now it's time for this next prompt, which is to create a border. I set out my scraps of paper around the book just to see what my border would kind of look like, and then I decided to make it a themed border, and I wanted to theme it Christmassy since it is the Christmas season. So I went ahead and just started by coloring all of the scraps of papers different colors, and then I decided I was going to put designs and patterns over top of each one. For the first design, I started off decorating this red one, and I decided to take a white gel pen and then put snowflakes all over this little red design. That way it would look super Christmassy in that way, red, white, snow, it goes with the Christmas theme. And then after I decorated this one completely with snowflakes, it was then time to move on to the yellow. And at this point, I'd already been sold on using gel pens to decorate these. So for this one, I decided to put stars all over it. And then I used a gold gel pen to do this. So then it looked like this in the light, which is super awesome. And then it was time to move on and decorate the green one, which reminded me of a Christmas tree. So I tried to add in a whole bunch of different little Christmas tree designs, and it got kind of wonky towards the end, but I decided to cover all that up by just adding in some polka dots everywhere. And then after I added in all of the polka dots, it looked like this in the light, so I was really liking the gel pens. I decided to make this blue one just to kind of break up all of the Christmas colors, and I just put little circles all over this one, but still using the gel pen, of course, to make it reflective as well. And then it was time to decorate this one as well, which is green, but I decided to do kind of a Christmas wrapping paper vibe for this one. So I took silver and just drew stripes all over it to create this repeating pattern. And then after that, it was time to start putting them in the book. So I started off by putting down the stars, the snowflakes, and then I realized I didn't decorate the other long border. So I decided to do little gingerbread men for this white one. And then after I decorated it with a whole bunch of odd shaped gingerbread men, then I added in a couple of red and green polka dots just to really sell the Christmas vibes. I stuck that one down into the book as well and continued finishing up all of the border pieces, and here is how it turned out. It is definitely super Christmassy, and I actually really had a lot of fun decorating all of the different patterns and designs. And now it's time to move on to the last prompt of the day, which is my favorite actually, and it's to create an unusual combination. I really wanted my unusual combination to be art related, so the only thing that kept coming to my mind was toast. Okay, literally toast. I don't really know what I was supposed to do with that, but then it came into my head to create a toast paint palette, like with little different spreads on top, like, you could have jellies, peanut butter, those kind of things. So I felt like that would be a really fun and cool idea. So then I added a little paintbrush next to the toast to kind of sell it, and now it was time to outline my entire design before I colored it in and really sold it to you guys. For the toast design, I added a hole to the top right, just so it looked like a paint palette, where you hold it with your thumb, and then I started adding in my different spreads and mixtures that resemble paint that would be on the paint palette, but in this case it's going to be jellies and jams and those kind of things that you would put on toast. So then I started off with my colors, and I obviously wanted to make the toast colored / paint palette colored, so I chose this little tan brown color, and then I added in some textures and shadows to everything as well using a darker brown, and I really wanted this to scream toast, so I added in some dark brown around the edges to make it look toasted, and then I also added in a whole bunch of little detailed dots with a brown and also with a white gel pen just to make it look like it had grains in it and really red, bread. And then I moved on to adding on the different paints, which in this case are jellies and that kind of thing. So this is some grape jelly, and then I added to the bottom one, I decided to do some peanut butter there for that one, and then I decided to leave the little middle piece just some white, like cream cheese maybe, those kind of things. So then after I decorated all of the little toppings on top, I filled in the rest, like you had some, spread out paint, some paint that got messy or whatever, and then I painted the paintbrush on the side to really sell the entire idea of this being a paint palette toast. And then it was time to go in with my favorite part, the details, and I used my white gel pen to add in some highlights and some sparkle to make it look a little more like that was jelly and peanut butter. And then once I was done with this spread, this page spread, get it? Then I moved on to doing the next spread of the book. So then for this one, I decided to add in a whole bunch of the different things that you could put on the toast and make it kind of look like paint splotches or like paint samples were kind of spread out, if that makes sense. So I decided to just add a whole bunch of different blobs at first that I was going to transform to be various things that you put on toast. So after I outlined all of those, then I went ahead and went in with my colors. I made the bottom one peanut butter again, so I took this kind of tan color and just put that all over, and then I decided to kind of add a shadow to everything to make it look a little more 3D, and I went ahead and in advance added that to the other jams, jellies, whatever you want to call them. I guess we should call them jellies since that's what they are going to be. So now let's get started on the grape jellies. So I started off with my darkest colors again, that way I could blend it later, but for now I added in just little streaks, and I was really trying to make this read jelly and not like alien blob, I don't even know. So then after I colored in the entire one purple, I decided to do strawberry jelly for the final one at the top. And for this one, I was really trying hard to make it not look like bacon. Hopefully you don't see that now that I've said it. But then after I finished all of the colors, I decided to go in with my white gel pen and add in those details again to make it look like sparkly, shiny, see-through jelly. That was the goal, that was the plan. After I was done coloring them in, I wanted to make it perfectly clear what everything was, so I decided to go ahead and add labels to everything. I named this one obviously strawberry jelly, the next one grape jelly, then peanut butter, and then I also decided to name the toast as well a paint palette toast. Although now that I'm saying that, I think a toast paint palette makes more sense than a paint palette toast. But either way, you get the idea. And then I went ahead and put them into the book, and here is how it turned out. This one is definitely my favorite. But let's go ahead and take a look back at the first prompt of the day, which was to create a stick figure drawing. So here are all of my little simplistic stick figures that are just, definitely super simple and was a lot of fun to do. Here's the next prompt, which is to create a family. So I made my family, me, my husband, and our cats. This one was really fun, and I love to make us into little doodles. It was super cute and just really an awesome prompt. Here's the next one, which was to create a border, which was actually in the other book as well, and I actually did a much better job with this one, creating a Christmas themed border, and it was a lot of fun, and it definitely reads Christmas, which I am very, very happy about. The gingerbread one was a little difficult, but it still turned out really cute. And here's my favorite prompt of the day, which was to create an unusual combination, which I made a paint palette toast, or a toast paint palette. But here it is, and I love this page. Let me know which prompt was your favorite. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!